Hey guys, how's it going? I didn't actually plan to make a video today, but all of my family are out and there is something that I really need to address. A little while ago I posted this image on social media which managed to create a lot of questions within my friendship groups. My family were questioning things, everyone was really confused by it. So today I'm going to tell the story of how I created a mass amount of damage in a hotel using only a chocolate and peanut butter milkshake. Like only I can. So a little bit of background, me and my mum went up to London to see Green Day at Hyde Park. They were really good, by the way, and there will be a review coming soon. That's a little cheeky plug from me. And we thought we'd just try and find a really cheap hotel which we can stay in. We didn't plan to be in a hotel much because we also went to see Bad Out of Hell musical. Again, review coming soon. It's really, really good actually. So we found this little hotel sort of near Hyde Park. And we booked it up. It was reasonably cheap for London hotels. We got there and this hotel was not the greatest to ever stay in. It was very old-fashioned. We got into our room. First of all, the lift was like a coffin. It had a maximum of 2 people sign in it. I don't know what the point of that was because you could literally only fit one person in it at a time. And then we got up to the room and the wallpaper looked like it hadn't been changed since I don't know, prehistoric era, which I know they didn't have wallpaper before anyone makes a comment, but it was that sort of style. It was really old and it was that sort of cigarette stain coloured. It wasn't very pleasant. The ceiling had massive cracks in it. The walls all had cracks in, and the carpet was not very nice. Yeah, it wasn't the best kept hotel. In fact, it was so old fashioned it didn't even have free guest Wi-Fi. That is the level we're dealing with here. Literally prehistoric. But it was just somewhere where we could sleep, and that is all we wanted it for. Before we left, I was at work, so I literally had to take all of my work stuff with me up to London and just dump it in the room for the weekend, including the chocolate milkshake, protein shake that I always take into work because I don't like eating in front of people. Fun fact about me. So that was in my bag, and I took it out of my bag and put it on the bedside table. Me and my mum went to see the musical, we came back, we had a few drinks, we were getting a little bit tipsy, having a laugh, and then we decided about midnight-ish, midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning, it's time to go to sleep. I pushed my bed against the wall because I don't like sleeping with no walls either side of me in hotels. I don't know why, I think it's in case someone's hiding under the bed. Who knows what childhood trauma caused that. But anyway, I pushed my bed against the wall and the milkshake was still on the little bedside table between the two of us. And yeah, we then went to sleep until about 6:30 in the morning. I will also point out, we didn't get to sleep too quickly because the people in the room above us kept walking around all night. At least we keep saying they're walking around. They were probably doing something else, but there was a lot of loud noises coming from upstairs. So eventually I stuck my headphones in. My mum can sleep through anything. She started with my dad snoring, so you know, like most mums can, she just completely zonk out, and then I fell asleep. 6:30 in the morning came along and there was the loudest explosion that I think I've ever heard. It woke us both up, but we were both sort of too terrified to say anything. All up my arm I felt a wet liquid, and all that went through my head was, oh fuck, my mum's been shot. What do I do? But at the same time I was kind of too tired to really process that and too tired to panic, so I just kind of laid there for a bit like the uncaring daughter I am. And my mum was completely silent, so I was like, shit, she's actually been shot, what am I going to do in this situation? What, you know, how do you deal with that? Who shot her? Are they in the room? Am I going to get shot? So that was the whole panic that went through my head. And then my mum spoke and went on a full-on rant about the fact that the ceiling had fallen down. All she kept saying, I wish that I had recorded her speaking, but she was like, oh, the ceiling's fallen down, Heather, are you okay? The ceiling's fallen on you. There's a massive hole, I can see it in the darkness, there's a huge hole where that crack was. I bet it was those people upstairs. She was speaking so loudly, and all of the walls and the ceiling and everything was so thin, but she did not care. She didn't give a shit at this point. She was going off on one about the people upstairs and how they kept making loads of noise and they've been walking around all night and they've broken our ceiling and we're going to have to pay for it. And then she turned on the light. Now I was just in a state of I don't know, happiness that my mum hadn't been shot. And meanwhile she was like, have you been hit by the ceiling, are you okay? I also can't really talk when I wake up, which is always why I need coffee as soon as I wake up so I can function. So I was making some weird mumbles in return, like, oh, you've not been shot. And she's like, oh, you've not been hit by a ceiling. It was very surreal. We were both really tired still. Anyway, she turned on the light and then we realised what it was. Up on the ceiling, in a very decorative pattern, as you can see by the photo, was this lovely splash of chocolate and peanut butter milkshake. It was everywhere. It was all up my arm, so luckily that wasn't my mum's blood, that was just milkshake. It was all on the floor. The bottle had shot off the bedside table and was then laying on the floor, and we both just lost it. And at the same time, like, because obviously this is the first time I've told a story without just crying with laughter. You don't expect a chocolate milkshake to A, explode in the night, and B, explode to that sort of volume and velocity to the point where it can hit the ceiling. And these ceilings were really high up, but it had done. So we were both then in absolute hysterics, and then we realised the bottle was still on the floor, so my mum was like, quickly Heather, pick it up. I would sleep on my arms. So then we had about 5 minutes of us laughing and me doing this weird flailing arm movement to try and pick up this bottle, which was a complete failure, but I eventually managed to do it. Still laughing, and then we thought, oh shit, someone's going to come in a minute because they probably think that something's happened. No one came in. No one was concerned about the fact there was a massive loud bang within the room. Everyone was probably still nicely asleep or just thought, oh, those two have been murdered. Quite violently, apparently. So yeah, we were then quickly trying to clear things off, looking up at the ceiling as little chunks of peanut butter kept falling down, largely on me. My mum was like completely safe over where her bed was, but little chunks of peanut butter were falling down. We couldn't stop laughing. And then we thought, okay, we'll clear it up in the morning when we could work out a way to get up to the high ceiling. My mum's original suggestion at 6:30 in the morning was to get on a chair, like put a chair on the bed and then one of us stand on the chair. My mum's about 5 foot something. She's not very tall. I'm 5'7". I'm a little bit taller than my mum. I think she's about 5. She always says 5'5". I'm pretty sure she's about 5'3" or 4". Sorry, Mum. So that was her magical suggestion. I said, no fucking way, I'm not standing on a chair which is placed on a bed. The furniture looked as old as the hotel room. Like, literally you sat on the chair and it screamed out in pain. That could just be my weight, but it literally screamed in pain. And I was like, I'm not trusting that to stand on it. So we thought we would just leave it. But obviously, every time we then lay down, all we could see was this almighty chocolate splurge all over the ceiling, which just set us off laughing even more. We fell asleep again. Next day we woke up, we looked up, started laughing hysterically again, and then we were trying to clear it off of the ceiling, which didn't work. We both tried jumping, not helpful at all, seeing as we were about half the height of the room. There was no way we could get up there. I was about to stand on the bedside table, but it wasn't actually like a table, it was just like a little ledge poking out of the wall. And we thought there must be a way we could do that. I tried jumping on the bed to clear it off, didn't work. So we left it. We thought that the cleaning staff would then come in and spot it and notice that the whole room smells like chocolate and peanut butter. And we went to go see Green Day. We came back, no one brought it up. So even the cleaning staff missed this. And then we really didn't know what to do. I believe it has been sorted now. I don't know. It's something my mum was taking care of. So unless she's been a terrible human and just left it there, I think it's all been sorted. I don't quite know. But yeah, the moral of the story is to always empty out milkshakes and not leave them in a hot hotel room. I'm mainly just glad that I didn't leave it at work, because I could just imagine the intruder alarm going off really loudly, someone coming in to find out what the hell set it off, and it just being chocolate milkshake all over my desk and my like work Mac and stuff like that. But yeah, so in fact I think the real moral of the story is just don't try and be healthy, just go eat a burger. This problem wouldn't have occurred if I just had like a veggie burger for lunch. Yeah, so there you go, the tale of how I created mass amounts of damage to a hotel room using only a chocolate milkshake. Why does the weird shit always happen to me?